All right, everybody. Well, welcome. We are so excited to have you guys tonight. My name is Casey Elmore, and I know I don't know everybody on all these wonderful lines, but I am a part of Team Worth, which is a part of Team Plant Strong, and Michelle and I are so excited to co-host this call tonight. We are just in a season of business that we want to help you guys attract your tribe. This is the time of year that you're going to get to see so many amazing friends and family. We're coming up on New Year when there's just an amazing opportunity to share the business because we do have so much growth in the end of December and in January. And so we thought this would be an amazing time to bring everybody together and do some training on attracting your tribe. And we've got some awesome things to share with you, some amazing nuggets, a lot of good things that Michelle and I have taken away over the last few years of our business together. And so Michelle is going to kick us off and talk a little bit about what it looks like to be a lighthouse. She's been super inspiring to me. It has encouraged me to be more of a lighthouse. And so I know that her sharing what she has experienced to be a light for y'all.
Yay. Well, thanks, Casey. I'm Michelle Barnett, for anyone who doesn't know me. I am excited because over the last 7 years with Juice Plus, I've learned a lot about leadership. When I started, I didn't know really much about it. I had only worked in my previous job for 3.5 years, so I hadn't really gotten into much of a leadership level. And so I know that this business is a great platform and an opportunity for personal growth. And that's why we are doing these trainings, because we want to invest in you guys so that you guys can learn even faster than Casey and I have learned and be able to touch more lives. And that's really what it's all about. And the reason we want to attract a tribe, that we want to have a team, is because the impact we can make on our finances, the impact we can make with our paycheck, the impact we can make in others' lives is so much greater. Because when you go and do it by yourself, you can grow, and you can your paycheck can grow and your impact can grow. But when you go and find a tribe of other people to do it with you, your paycheck will multiply and your impact will multiply, and you can touch so many lives. I know that personally, I couldn't touch as many lives as what our team does. Our team touches thousands of lives every single month, and I couldn't do that on my own. It's not my credit. It's each of you guys going out and sharing and caring enough about people, and it's because you said yes to this mission. And so we want to inspire other people to say yes to the mission. And so that's why we're doing this call. And one of my friends shared with me these lessons from a lighthouse. And I think they're just really, it's good to put a picture. I think visualization is really important in our business and being able to envision something. And so if you think about a lighthouse, these are going to be characteristics of a lighthouse that we want to have in order to attract our tribe. A lighthouse obviously attracts ships and boats that are going, passing it, and it attracts them and it helps them to stay on the right path. And so the first lesson from a lighthouse is it has a story. I was on the East Coast this summer, and we got to see lots of lighthouses, and they all have a unique story about why it was built and what had happened there. And so you guys are a lighthouse. You all have your own unique story that you get to share that's going to impact different people. And so the first tool you have in attracting your tribe is your story. Your story is whether it's, Juice Plus has radically changed your life or it just made sense to you. It's your story, and you can own it and boldly share that to attract people. The second thing about a lighthouse is they're all unique. I never saw two lighthouses that were the same. And we are all unique. We have different skills, different talents, different abilities, different things we can share with the world, and that are going to affect different people. And so in order for us to reach as many people as we want to reach, we need to bond together and share our skills and share our gifts, and to be able to attract enough people that will create a movement. And so we want you to know that your story is yours. It is unique, and it is going to attract people, but you have to share it. The third thing is it's set near danger. So a lighthouse is usually around rocky, craggy, places in the ocean. And so it's setting your danger. It's a warning. And I feel like in our business, we can be a warning for people about their health specifically. People are going to come to us who are on the wrong path with their health. And we get to be this warning sign saying, hey, there's a better way. Don't go that way. Come this way. We get to be a warning for their financial future. Like, hey, there's a better way. You don't have to go and work, 60, 70 hours a week away from your family. You can work from home. You can do it with people you love, and you can do it in your own time, in your own way. And so we get to be that warning sign for people that cross our path. The fourth thing is a lighthouse is a beacon of hope. When you are in the pitch black darkness sailing through the ocean and you see this light, it gives you hope. It helps you know that there's someone around, that there's, something to look forward to. Maybe you're getting close to your port, or that you're in the right direction. And so we want to be a beacon of hope to people that we come into contact with. There's a lot of darkness. There's a lot of negativity. All you have to do is turn on the TV to see that. And we get to be the opposite. We get to be that hope and that inspiration, showing people that there is more than what they may think or know is possible for them. Number 5, a lighthouse has a firm foundation. In our business, our firm foundation is so important. And truly, our firm foundation is a strong belief in our product and a strong belief in our business model. And that's why we relentlessly encourage you to do three-way calls with your new teammates, to do three-way calls or coaching calls with your upline. We encourage you to go to trainings online or in person, to do events, to go to regionals, to go to conferences. These things are belief building activities, and that's what's going to help cement you for the long haul. If you don't have a strong belief, you're going to be washed away by the next storm that comes. So that leads me to the 6th trait is a lighthouse leads through turbulent waters. I like to say what you focus on grows. You guys have heard me say that. And if you are out in the ocean and you just get consumed by the waves and the storm, that's what's going to grow, and you're going to lose direction. But if you see the lighthouse and you focus on the lighthouse, that's what you're going to see hope, and you're going to okay, I've just got to keep going the way I'm going, and you're stay the course. And so we get to lead people through hard things, and we get to help them overcome things, which is really an awesome and rewarding job. Number 7, a lighthouse is not swayed by storms. When the storm comes, the lighthouse doesn't say, oh, I'm closing shop and I'm going to go the other way. That's when it shines. It shines in the storm. And for us in our business, our storms are really discouragement, people saying no, rejection. These are things that want to derail us. And if we can get to a place where our foundation is so strong that we can just shine through the storms, and we can, when someone says no, you say next. When someone says no, it's just because they don't know, and you don't let it get you down, because the people who can weather the storms in this business are the ones who are going to be touching the most lives and having that success because they've heard more no's. And that's what Kurt told me. He said, Michelle, when I started, the only difference between where you are and where I am, which is a big difference, especially then, is that I've heard more no's. And being resilient, being able to bounce back is so huge in our business. And that's why you need team. That's why you need an upline. That's why you need people to partner with you. Because I know when I'm down, Casey can say, hey, but you know what? We have this to look at. Or when she's down, I can pull her up. And so really having that team is so important. Number 8, a lighthouse is an answer to prayer. Someone needs you. Someone might be praying right now for a health solution, or for an extra $500 a month, or for an extra $200 a month, or to be able to pay their mortgage. And someone might be praying for this opportunity, and it's our duty to share it with everyone, not to force anyone, but to share it with everyone so that they know they have the same option. Number 9, a lighthouse lights the way. It paves the path for others to follow. People follow certainty. If you are certain that you're on the right path with this health product, and you're on the right path with your business, people are going to follow you. But if you're like, it's okay, or I think it's good, or I think it's going to work out, people are not going to follow you. They want to follow certainty. That's why most people go to the 9 to 5. They value security. Number 10, a lighthouse shines brightly. So we need to be bright lights. We need to be positive. we need to believe in others before they believe in themselves. And that's what you can do to attract your tribe, believing in other people. Because I know for me, when I first started, Kurt believed that I was going to be an NMD before I did. And I don't know that if he hadn't told me that and said that and encouraged that, that I would actually have gone on to do it, because I didn't have that vision for myself. So we need to believe in others and shine brightly. And the last thing I just want to share is a quote I saw today. It says, "A ship in the port is safe, but that's not what ships are built for." That's Grace Murray Hopper, and she was a Navy admiral. And we are ships, and it may feel safe to be in the comfort and to not share and to just do your own thing, but we're built for so much more, and the risk and the storms and everything that is going to come are going to be so worth it, because you are going to be inspiring other people to take a greater investment in themselves, and also to help so many more people. So just remember, it's not about us, that we don't want to stay in the port. We want to go out and we want to change lives, and that's what's going to attract our tribe. So I'm going to pass it back over to Casey.
That was awesome. I love that quote. That's so right. I mean, I think it so simply every day, like, we have ability to choose, to be bold and to share and to be outside of our comfort zones and to do what we were built to do, use the gifts that we were built to use. And it's very easy to just stay in port and be safe. So that's super encouraging, Mish. So now what I'm going to share with you guys really is some practical applications to attracting your tribe. Because ultimately, like, we can be a lighthouse, but there has to be a plan of attack and really focusing on what that looks like. So the first thing is being mindful of your intention setting. So when you're ready to find your tribe, you got to put it out there. You have to set clear intentions. You need to set clear goals, and you need to share them. And when you share them, we encourage you to share them with your upline, your sidelines, and the people in your life that are truly supportive, whether that's your spouse, your siblings, your parents, even your children, and ask them to keep you accountable. Because, when I say accountable, I mean unapologetically accountable. Let them call you on your stink, okay? Because it is healthy and it's necessary. And when you are setting your intentions, you also want to set your DMO so that you have an action that aligns with your intentions. And so when you're setting your DMO, you have to look at your mindset, and however many months, what your mindset has been for your business, whether you've been at the business for 3 weeks or you've been in it for 3 years. If you feel like your business hasn't moved, we have to change our mindset. Or if you feel like your business, you want to take it to, maybe it's moved, maybe you just want to take it to another level. You have to change your mindset. And it's really easy over a short period of time. I've experienced that maybe I'm not having the success that I want, to just stop and move on, or slow down, or procrastinate because of fear that just sets in unnecessarily. And so one thing that I want to share with you guys is that I'm a firm believer in image changing the ways of our thinking on an unconscious level. And I want to pose a question to you. So if you don't know what image is, I want to pose a question to you. What do you think, if you've got a person that has lived a certain way their whole life, to the point that they're trying to make a change, to do something different, but they've been doing something for 30 plus years or longer, right? And you have to find a way for them to change their thinking, to change their actions. It's pretty hard. I mean, I think that we talk about sharing Juice Plus, and a lot of times, baby boomers are some of the hardest people that we share with, because they're in their ways, they're set in their ways. And so we really have to change our thought process on a deeper level. And I believe that through image, and I believe through prayer, that God can change our minds, that image can give us the tools, and that literally the mindset has to change. And so leading into the Lord and using image to give us the resources is going to really set your mindset where you want it to be. It may not be overnight, because we know if it was that simple, everybody would do it, but it's worth it. And so I just really encourage you guys to look into that. You're surrounding yourself with like-minded individuals. We also talk a lot about this in image, and this is just true for all network marketing. And so as much as we love our family and friends, there comes a point where we have to put healthy boundaries, because there are doubters, non-believers, negative people in our life, non-supportive, even the ones that are indirectly hurting our business. Like, you have a team call and they invite you to go get a drink, and maybe that sounds like more fun in the moment, so temporary satisfaction. And so what I call it is we have to have a temporary lowering of our social status for the long-term gain. And so it may be not spending as much time with your family. It may be not hanging out with those doubters or those non-direct people that are forcing you to not touch your business. So maybe doing that for a temporary period of time so that you can do other things like get to Juice Plus events, whether they're small or large. You want to, surround yourself by people, going to small events, doing coffee dates, team calls, boot camps, regionals, conferences, image seminars. And you want to share that on social media, because when you're trying to attract your tribe, people want to see that you're a part of something greater than yourself. And we know that what we're doing is greater than ourselves. Create dinners with not just Juice Plus people, but Juice Plus people and non-Juice Plus people, those people that you want to touch, that you want to encourage, that you want to impact, because you alone may not be what that person needs. And so getting that third person in front, that's why we talk about three-way calls all the time. If a three-way call isn't for them, great. Invite your friends, invite your uplines to go grab a drink, go grab coffee, just spend time with your friends. People want to be around that positive atmosphere all the time. And another thing that you can do is to do something new. So like take an art class, join a women's or men's groups, use like the Meetup app and join a group of something that you like to do and that's new. Sign up for a workshop. Find a spiritual community that you feel is authentic to you, that lights you up, and really just engages and ignites your soul. Those things are going to ignite so much excitement, and people are going to see that, and that is going to be a lighthouse for those people, and they can see who you really are. I'm going to encourage you to ditch judgment, okay? So someone from your tribe might be standing right next to you in the grocery store, and guess what? If you label her as other because you don't like their hairstyle, or maybe their sense of fashion, or what's in their shopping cart, right? You might just walk away from someone who would be your next BFF in this business. And hello, that's how Michelle and I met. Like, I was a super creep, and you just got to creep on people, okay? That's how it works. But you have to be willing to talk to anyone and everyone, look past the surface, and really resonate with that person's soul. Get to know them, engage with them, find the urge to talk to them. And then something that I want to discourage you to do, that when we're ditching judgment, we also need to ditch gossip, okay? I know it's so easy to find ourselves just amidst other women, talking about other women, but women want to be around positive encouragers 24/7. And maybe you don't need to avoid the conversation, but maybe you be a lighthouse to the conversation, right? Bring up the positive side of things, shed a positive light. People want to hear these things. And I promise you, it works. I've got a story right now of someone who just came to me about the business, and I've talked to them multiple times about it, and they finally said, they've messaged me out of the blue on Facebook and said, I've been such an oof. I haven't gotten back to you on Facebook. Facebook Messenger is not my thing. I promise I'm not ignoring you. Why don't you text me and we can find a time to talk this week? And all I do is just be positive and just love on them, right? And that's what we got to be about. Oh, I'm glad you said that. Thanks, Michelle. The next thing we want you to do is be discerning. While judgment and criticism does create barriers between you and your tribe, you also won't click with everyone you meet. And so we don't want this to be a desperate plea. 746, hold on one second. 713. Sorry, guys, I gave our special guest the wrong Zoom line. I'm not perfect. It's a perfect example. I'm not perfect. Anyone can do this. So we want you to, this is a time where discernment does come in. Get clear on the kind of community you want to attract, okay? And be honest about your needs, and be willing to communicate them, because you know what? If you're talking to someone and you just get a vibe that they're not going to be 100% all in, you ask them like, hey, I'm looking for people that 100% want to make a difference in their future and other people's lives. Is this the path that you see yourself on? And if they say no, or if they're like, well, I don't know, then it may not be for you. Ask for what you desire and invite others to do the same, because when you do that, that's when you're going to bring in people into your tribe that are like-minded and going to make a difference on this mission. They're going to truly embrace this healthy living revolution. I want you to encourage you to embrace your status and live it. And so sometimes we let our sense of being different get in the way of belonging. I know that I have struggled with this, as many as you probably think that's not true. I've struggled with that. I have struggled with belonging in certain situations, and I have to understand that we are all unique and individual, but we are so much more alike down deep than we are on the surface, and that's where it comes down to. And so you can't let your egos separate you from the pack. You have to just let yourself shine. And so like a lighthouse, you might need to embrace what you consider a disadvantage or being different or unique, whether that's being a single mom, having really young children. Maybe you feel like you're falling in the place of where you're overweight or just considered unfit when you compare yourself to the next person. Maybe you look at yourself as an introvert, or you have no college degree, or you have a degree unrelated to the health and wellness industry, whether, or business or marketing, right? None of this is holding you back. You have to embrace that, embrace your differences, and live it. There's someone that y'all may or may not know. Her name's Leslie O'Brien, and she does an amazing job embracing her body type, her individuality, and she shines it, and she has a massive growing business. So I can just encourage you guys to embrace your differences. And last but not least, don't be shy. Take action. I know this is different for everybody, but when you meet people who light you up, the ones that you hope will become a part of your tribe, you need to be brave enough to invite them to be part of your inner circle. Tell them how much you enjoyed their presence. You loved talking to them. Don't hold back your affection and your respect for them, because we need more outpouring of love in the world anyway. So let your love shine. Shine like a lighthouse. Set a date to get together and connect with them. Start a women's or a men's group, whether it's a book group, a fitness group, an art group. Connect. And so don't just sit around and wait for people to find you. Put your desires out there. Okay. Now that I've given you guys some action steps, I have the privilege to bring someone special on with us. I know we're going to end up running over a little over time, but I promise you it's worth it. So I am going to introduce our guest speaker tonight. You may or may not know this name, but I know it very well, and I get all geeked up knowing that she's on the call with us. Her name is Megan Martin, and she is a rock star in our community. She's a wife, a mother of two. She has a 7-year-old and 5-year-old. She is a 2007 graduate from the St. Louis College of Pharmacy, and she has had a career focused on leading and developing others in the pharmacy industry. And she currently holds a position as a senior clinical consultant for the pharmacy benefits manager in St. Louis. But her personal motto is focus on education, communication, and celebration. And she has brought success to her Juice Plus team action, to really put together that plan of action. And that has helped her work from a new distributor to 39 Club NMD in just 20 months. Okay, rock star. He's a rock star. Ugh, gets me all geeked up. So I'm really excited to invite you on here, Megan. Tonight, we would just love to hear your business story, and then I have a couple questions for you.
Sounds good. Thank you so much for inviting me. I'm super excited to be with you guys here tonight. And I was just hopped in, but I was loving everything you were already saying, Casey. Super, super exciting. My product and business story started in January 2015. And I was on the product about 2 weeks, loving it, was a raving fan already within that time frame. And really, it was kind of that place where the more that I read, the more that I researched, the more videos that I watched, the more compelled I really felt to share with my loved ones. And I had never been in any sort of direct sales business before. I would probably say I most typically stayed away from them and didn't want to go to those kind of parties and that kind of thing. And but I was just so excited. I couldn't shut up about it. And I think that would probably be my first tip. And I loved that you said that about, don't let your fear of your differences keep you from belonging. And my favorite thing to say is embrace your crazy. Who cares if people think that you're crazy in terms of what you're talking about? When you are so committed to it and you believe in it so heartedly, that's going to become infectious. It's going to become contagious, because when people see you acting like that, they're going to say, well, I don't know what she is doing, but I'm going to do that. If she feels that, great. And this is how it makes her behave. And she feels this positive and energetic and literally infectious. Sign me up. I want to do that. I want to be a part of that. And so that's kind of where my product story started. And then we very slowly, started introducing it to my closest family, friends, and then slowly started bringing a team on. Originally, I did not have goals. My goal was to get a discount. My goal was to pay for my product, but I'm very goal-oriented. So then as I started to see these different fast-track opportunities, and it was like, well, okay, now what is the next thing? Okay, wait, maybe I want to do that. And so then that kind of got exciting too. And so we started to grow a team, and just kind of hit things as we, were laid out. I hit sales coordinator like right at the deadline of my 6-month mark. But one thing I would encourage you to think about is anytime you've got somebody who's coming on board, stick with them, wherever they're at, love them where they're at, but always continue to encourage them to stretch themselves just a little bit further. Be that proactive leader for them, because the more silent you are and the more reactive you are, the more times they'll fall off, because then they just will think, oh, I can't do it. Oh, well, it didn't work for me. But if you can kind of, give them those suggestions, help them think of those people that you mutually maybe know make sense for them because you're their direct sponsor. Don't lean on your SSD. Don't lean on your Q, your NMD to help drive that conversation. You as their direct sponsor, help lead that discussion, because you're going to more intimately have that relationship with them to know some of those people that you could suggest. But even as they go, even if it seems like, it's such a stretch, no. Encourage them to keep going. And even if you're at that level, if you're a VF and you're not sure you can wrap up that SC, especially this month with this huge $300 bonus, go for it. That's where I was. I needed an entire VF leg and I had 1 week left. And I found the person and I said, okay, I'm going to throw this out there. I would not normally aggressively work like this with somebody, but here's the deal. I need a VF in a week. Will you lock arms with me? Find these 12 trios, and let's just knock it out. And it was literally a grade school friend of mine from kindergarten, and she's like, okay, let's do it. It sounds so fun. And just having that belief in that person and believing in yourself that, yeah, that kind of sounds crazy, but who cares? Let's do it. Let's just see if we can make it happen. And so that's kind of where we were then. I then actually got the role you just said, that consultant role, in September of 2015. And I canceled my trip to Nashville. It was going to be my first conference, and I canceled it because I had started this new job. It required a lot of reading and research, and I just thought it's just not going to happen. I got to prioritize. And then the month of October was completely filled with just all kinds of self-reflection and kind of just this doubt, because here I, was this professional pharmacist thinking that's where I was supposed to be. And, I was really building a career that was atypical, even for pharmacy. I wasn't dispensing prescriptions. I was in the corporate world and growing a career that direction. And then there was my Juice Plus business, and it was completely pulling at my heart. And I found it so fulfilling and so rewarding. And I thought, what are you doing? You're so crazy. Your husband's going to think you're nuts. Your parents are going to be like, what are you doing? And no, just put it aside. Just let it go. But Casey Schloss is my sponsor. I had worked with her in a pharmacy position before, as well as her husband, Chris. We had gone to school together. And they did that. They both kept encouraging me to work through my feelings, but keep thinking, well, are you sure? But what about that? And I was so almost against it at that point. No, I want this. No, I want that. And then finally, Chris just said to me, look, you're not Casey. Your story doesn't have to be Casey's. Your kids are older. You're not at that place where it's because you're going to stay home with them. But your story doesn't have to be Casey's. You're Megan Martin. Your story can be Megan Martin's story. So stop comparing yourself to her and have your story be your story. And it just clicked. it was just like, that was the message I needed. And so that's why I always tell people, keep having those conversations, those proactive conversations, even when you feel completely let down in that person you brought on board, thinking, crap, I totally thought they were going to be awesome, and it's not happening. I totally thought this was like my person, and then they're not. But don't then set that failure expectation on them either. Keep sticking with them, because time and time again, I'm already seeing, oh my gosh, my sister will say it all the time. She last week, she's like, you make me so crazy, because just when I want to stop, then you just keep going. And then I think, okay, I can't do it. Okay, I can do it. And you've got to. Sometimes you have to believe in that person more than they believe in themselves. And so then it did. Then I thought, you know what? You're right. This can be my story. I can do this. I probably can't retire when she was able to retire. And, my all in might look a little bit different along the way, but I know I can do this, and I know I can be successful at it. And I know I'm going to have a lot of fun doing it. And I love it. I love it. And I love leading people, and I love having a team, and it just fills me up every day. So I went to bed that night, and it was time change. So everybody was off. And so my kids ended up in my bed. So I ended up in my daughter's bed. And then I started watching NMD speeches and just bawling in her bed, crying, watching them all. And I thought, yes, this is what I'm doing. I'm going to do this. I'm going to be on that stage in St. Louis. I'm going to be dancing to my song with my kids in St. Louis. I'm doing it. I'm going to do it. And so I went to sleep. I got up stupid early because I still wasn't barely sleeping. I walked on the treadmill, and I wish I could get back to the Voxer. I should have started, because I left Casey and Kristen's crazy Voxer message. I'm like, it's like 4 a.m, and I'm doing it. I'm totally going to do it. So we went to church. It was Sunday. Went to church, prayed on it, felt so serene, and finally at peace after this, month of kind of back and forth in my head. And I went out. I went and I told my sister first, my main partner. She thought I was absolutely crazy. Still didn't get it. She said, well, I don't see this for my future, but I will help you. And I know you're really passionate about it. I'll do whatever I can to help you. And I said, well, I know you don't see it for you now, but I believe in it enough for both of us. And this is what we're going to be doing. And I know it's going to be amazing. Went to my mom and dad, and they were shockingly supportive. They were so beautiful. My dad just shared, and it's so cute because my sister actually found this for me for my new office. So he shared with me, do what you love and you will never work another day in your life. And we just converted, sorry, my wall's so plain, our playroom to an office. And my sister, my partner, found me this little file, and it says what my dad told me. It is so cute. And so, yeah, they were just so supportive. And then I told my team, and they were on board. And then that's what we did. We just went into all-out action. And I love that, because to me, it's that. It's when you embrace your story. You embrace your crazy. You literally call people on the phone and say, okay, I'm doing this, and it sounds really nuts, but I love you. And you are someone who is one of my most favorite people from my past, from work, when we worked together, when we were in school together, whatever it is. I want you to do this with me. I know this sounds nuts, but we are literally going to do this. We are going to start an entire movement in our community, and I want you there by my side. And then people would be like, okay, well, it does sound kind of crazy, but okay, let's do it. Let's do this together. And then that's what we did. And I think, though, the most, number one, believe in yourself, build your why, know what that looks like. For me, it is all about that time freedom. I can't wait to be in my kids' schools more. Oh my gosh. And just to be more present with them and getting to do things. My secret dream job is actually to be a teacher. And I was so excited. I was at Bunko last month, and the one lady was telling me how she was a substitute. And she was actually like a architect kind of thing. And I was like, oh, well, did you go back and get a teaching degree? She's like, no, you just have to have a degree. And I was like, oh my gosh, I totally want to do that. And they don't know about my Juice Plus business yet, because I'm new to Troy, and I'm just trying to build relationships before I become the Juice Plus lady. And she's like, well, do you have a degree? And I was like, well, yeah, I actually have a doctorate in pharmacy, but anyway, yeah, that's what I do. And she's like, well, that might be kind of a pay cut, but it's like, yeah, you don't know the rest of my story yet. But yeah, and I can't wait. I know to be up. I'm going to teach PSR in my kids' church, in our church, so bad. I can't wait to teach, you know, their it's not Sunday school, but their PSR classes. But so much in my community. Cannot wait to do all those things. But anyway, so second part, go into action. So that is my motto across the board, my whole entire career. Everybody would tell you it's because you actually do it. You do it, you believe it, you actually do it, and then you teach other people how to do it too. And that's why you're effective. And it's just my belief. I just think it's so important. You know, you got to lead by example. You should totally be the best distributor on your team. And if you're telling them, you know, to achieve a royal crown or whatever it is that you guys, you know, kind of follow as your very basic steps, then you better be doing that. You've got to do that. You've got to be bringing on those new teammates, rising them up to DD, getting them to VF and talking about qualification and, you know, continuing to duplicate and then showing them how to do that. And if you're rising up leaders, then show those leaders what they should be doing. And, you know, then that's what we did. You know, I think your calendar is a reflection of how successful you'll be. And we filled it up. You know, it was just event after event after event. And every month hasn't been perfect. You know, we've definitely, I think right now we're in a solidification stage, but it's definitely ramping up. I can already feel the momentum rebuilding as the new year's coming. And yeah, it's just been really, really fun. And, you know, making it not only about our goals as a whole team, but each of their individual goals, believing in them as they continue to go through, but then also being there step by step to help them with those actions as they go on.
Oh, I love it. Girl. Okay, so for those of you that don't know, like Megan and I don't live very far apart, but we have yet to do anything together. So I laugh inside because right now, like, this is the closest that we've connected. So we need to change that. But it's so cool that you're able to get on and be with us. I love that you're sharing Embrace the Crazy because, like, I'm an extrovert at heart, but like a lot of people don't know like my spunky, crazy personality. Like I'm super goofy and sometimes I hold it back a little bit. So I just appreciate that because I need to not hold it back and I just need to be me. And I love that.
Mm-hmm.
I do have a question for you. And you've shared a lot and I've so appreciated it. I do have one question for you. I want to talk about the duplication piece. I want to talk about how you are teaching your team to do what you have done because, you know, at the end of the day, when we attract our tribe, you know, we can bring them on board. We can help them get to their, you know, to their HLP, to their 2000 plus. But the big picture is solidifying and teaching them down the line. So what is the biggest piece or maybe a couple pieces that you have found that has helped that duplication consistently happen down the line? Because when you're attracting a tribe and and I think I already know the answer because your team name has a lot to do with it, but you're attracting your tribe and you are building that solid foundation of people that are your tribe. But when you're helping your team build their tribes, what are you doing or what are your teams doing to help bring in the people that they want? Because you're blessed, you know, with a pharmacy degree. And I'm sure that you've gotten people come to you and say, you know, well, she's a pharmacist, so it must be really easy for her to get people to come on board. So what is it that you guys are doing down the line that's continuously growing that excitement, that crazy, that passion, that's just bringing in a stronger tribe within Team Action?
Yeah, you know, it's so funny because when you say that, I think of my mom. She can be like totally a negative Nancy and will literally do that. I'm one of 4 girls. So it was, you know, from day one. Oh, well, it's because you're a pharmacist. Your pharmacist friends will get this. No, they don't. Pharmacists are like the hardest people to convince because they're so all about Western medicine. So they're just so difficult. You know, and then they have a good salary, so then they don't want to join me unless they just want something different, you know. But I would say, so a few things, you know, you were right in terms of thinking, okay, it's her team name, so she means she's just going to say, do the work, you know, put in the action. But so work down into your legs. You know, and especially if you can tell that you've got, you know, more of an introvert or somebody who is definitely just working their business very part-time, but maybe somebody underneath them has a really strong belief in the business, work with them. You know, don't have like a sideline chat with the person in Voxer. Still use their upline chat, but definitely just go ahead and support that person, and help them continue on. Another thing that that we do is, we focus on bringing them in, getting them to their HLP as soon as possible. Typically, it's a live wine and wellness type of in-home event to get them to their VF. But then the very next month, we're talking about qualification. That's totally the next thing you want to hit. Absolutely want to qualify your business the first month as a VF. And then really celebrating that as a first-time qualifier on our Facebook page. And, really kind of making that's almost that next step standard. Even before you talk about SC, we want to qualify your business. And literally saying that in that message. They've just hit their VF, and that's the first thing I say is, yes, SC is the next step. You totally have 6 months to do it. You probably could do it sooner. But the first thing you want to look at is qualifying. And then figuring that out for them. I think sometimes the points and the calculations and projections and all of that can be so much coming in the door. But if you can tell somebody, okay, now based on where you're at, you need, 6 more shakes or 15 more trios on installments, and you're going to be there. That's more tangible. That makes more sense. They can kind of understand that. And then even doing that then for the majority of your team. We don't pass that responsibility on until somebody gets to the SSE level, then they can take care of that for their team. But really, I think just digging in there and continuing to be that leader for them. And then I think also that proactive leadership, not just being reactive and answering questions, but helping them through those thought processes, continuing to encourage them. They miss their 30, 60-day mark, then letting them know, what, it's okay, you can keep going. That's the beauty of it, is you're going to, get to keep going and then use that next 60-day window. And we can definitely keep reaching out to people, helping them think of type of people, even if it's not that they're friends, but just talking about different types of people that they may be able to reach out to. I think that helps. And then the celebration, because, everybody wants to be loved on. And it was so funny, actually, just the other day I had a girl who was like 13 points from self-qualifying. And I didn't know if she had backdated anything. I missed printing off my downline growth report before they had closed payroll. So I left her the message, and she's like, oh, no, I didn't know I was that close. I would have loved that recognition. I would have done. I was like, well, just wait, because you're getting loved on with something else. And she had hit her 20 customers, that triumphant 20. And so I was like, you're going to get called out on something else. She's like, okay, good, because I love just getting praised and that positive feedback. And people do. They want that excitement and that recognition. And then in seeing it in others, then people are. They're like, wait, what's that list? What's a club? Wait, I want to be in the club. What's the club? And I remember thinking that, when I first started, was, what is that? And what are these people doing? Well, I want my name on there. And so I think that's another big piece of it, is just duplicating how fun it is to get to those levels, and then just being excited for them when they get there.
Awesome. I love it. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. I think that totally, it's something that we are striving to perfect for our team, to make it a simpler process for them so that they can do the action and we can work on those busy, confusing things that are down the line they don't need to worry about right now. So that's so great. Michelle, did you have a question for Megan? I know that we're kind of over time, and we so appreciate you being with us, Megan, but I wasn't sure if Michelle had anything to share.
Hey, Megan. Thanks so much for being on here. I love it. My only question is just connected to something you said. I know when you said you start your new people with a live in-home event, and I know you guys have a lot of people in your kind of area, but what do you do with remote people? Do you still get them to do an event right away and you Zoom in, or what does that look like?
Yep. Yeah, totally. Having them still collectively get people together and then doing that Zoom kind of process. And if not that, if they feel like, and because some people don't, they just don't want to have that, we actually just do a weekly, one simple change call. It's, I used to actually do them myself, but then Casey started doing them for all of Wildfire. So every Wednesday we have it. And it's just that regular once a week, 30-minute webinar that people can invite people in from wherever. And it's also good for those follow-ups after events, for those of us who, are just continuing to grow our business. But then that's a place for them to plug into. But yeah, for any remote team who can't get somebody, there with them locally to help host their event, then yeah, we'll just zoom in and then provide that product presentation for them. Because I think that's important, because it's scary when you first start to feel like, I don't know what to say to people. I'm not an expert at this yet. To be able to come in and then just feel like a host, versus having to feel like they're selling it to their family, then it doesn't. I mean, I was just at one this weekend and they wanted to hand me their forms. And, it says on the top, who's your distributor? And they're like, oh, is that you? And I was like, no, Gentry, she's the one that's distributing. But sometimes they don't even know that the person who invited them is a rep. They just think, oh, they're loving this product and they care about us and want me to learn about it. And I think it does. I think it kind of takes the pressure off of the invitees as well as the host too.
Yeah. Thank you. Yeah, we do that too. And we're just, most of my team is remote because we travel full time. So yeah, with everyone. So that's really great just to hear. And I think that we really encourage people that anything's an event. Get 2 or 3 people, make a smoothie for them,
Yeah.
That's an event. So I love that.
Well, and we'll have that too. I mean, our typical event is maybe 5 people. Like a huge event is if they have 10, and so you'll get a rep where they're like, oh no, I think I only have, 3 people coming. I'm like, no, that's great, because you don't know who those 3 people are going to be. I mean, we had one where we do a monthly larger full team event that's usually themed, salad in a jar, lunchbox makeover, whatever. And it was this time last year, it was my Health for the Holidays one, and one girl came. I mean, we were in a public facility, we were a panel, and it was one girl. But it's my SC leg now. It's one of my SCs. And she was my 3rd SC in hitting Q. And so it's like, you don't know. That doesn't matter. Even if it's one person, they could be that most important person that you're going to meet that's going to be, that person for you. So, yeah.
Absolutely. Well, I love that. I know that's encouraging to people. Very encouraging. And we just appreciate your time.
Yeah, absolutely.
Love learning from you. So anything else, Casey?
Nope, I think that's it. We so appreciate you taking the time, Megan. I know that we're one team, one mission, but we just are thankful for your time, for you to be able to pour into us, and hope that we can do the same for you. The door's always open, you know that.
Absolutely. So much fun.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Bye, guys.
Bye.
Bye.